Okay, welcome to episode 7 of the Joy Dunk Club, brought to you by Asian CineVision. I'm Terry K. Park, your host, and we are actually starting on time, almost on time. It's 7:32, so this is a magnificent achievement for the Joy Dunk Club. I think this is a good start, and again, like always, we have a great show for you tonight. Tonight we have a special guest, Kristina Wong. She's an actress, solo performer, and comedian, and she'll join us in a bit where she's going to show us some signs that she brought to a recent Clippers-Rockets game, and I think she might have some cats and other things. I think she's broadcasting from her bathroom. So who knows what's going to happen tonight? And as always, we have a great set of panelists, and a new panelist for tonight's going to join us. So let's just start right away and introduce the panelists. First off, joining us from Boston is frequent sports tweeter Greg Kim. Greg, welcome back to the Joy Dunk Club.
What's up, Terry? How's it going?
Good. Are you watching the Knicks game still?
Yeah, Golden State's winning right now, but it's pretty close.
Oh, okay. I'm glad that you're doing your homework.
I don't care who wins.
Say what?
I don't have a stake in this. I don't care who wins. We'll see. We'll see how it ends.
I definitely want the Warriors to lose so that the Jazz have better playoff positioning. So anyway.
Joyce can weigh in.
Anyway, next off, we have joining us from Washington, D.C. is not just one yin, but two yins. The Yin sisters, Joyce and Jocelyn Yin, from D.C., or living in D.C. Both of them are the co-founders of the Chicago Bulls-centric blog Hard Hat Lunch Pail. And how's it going, you two? You're muted. I think you're muted.
Okay.
Yes. All right. What's up? It's always Joyce's fault. Is that how it was growing up,
yes.
Jocelyn?
Yes.
So who's the older one?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I take it that means you're older, Joyce?
I've never gotten that before. No.
She does have more white hairs, so I can see why you might make that mistake.
You are wrong, Terry.
Well, I mean, you two look like you're about the same age, so I can't even tell. What's the age difference?
6 years.
6 years. Oh my God. I'm telling you, you Asians, you all look young. I can't.
You're my favorite panelist by thinking that.
That I could be a 31-year-old. No, 32. My bad.
Take that as a compliment. Hey, that's not old. It's the early 30s old. Now I'm insulted. Anyway, moving on. Joining us from Baltimore, Maryland, is one of the editors of the API superhero anthology Shattered and Secret Identities, Keith Chow. Keith, welcome back to the Joy Dunk Club.
Hey, everybody. Nice to be here.
All right, and last but not least is oh no, wait, that's it for tonight. Ren will be back next week probably, and then like I said, Kristina Wong will join us in about 10 or 15 minutes after we get done with the basketball nerd talk. So I know there's a lot of you that don't really care about basketball, but that's okay. Just hold on, don't leave the show. We'll bring Kristina on in about 10 15 minutes. But for all of our awesome basketball nerd fans, we got to talk a little bit about Jeremy Lin. So tonight, Keith, you watched tonight's game between the Rockets and the Bucks. So tell us what happened. How did Jeremy do? And especially since we didn't really talk last week about some of the new players, right? Jeremy has a couple of new teammates. He lost a couple of teammates. He's playing with Patrick Beverley now, more in the backcourt. We didn't get to see Francisco Garcia, but I'm sure he's going to get a few minutes later. So can you talk a little bit about the new additions and what it means for Jeremy?
Yeah, sure. Well, tonight was actually the first game that Thomas Robinson got some playing time. He didn't get much. He got like 7 minutes in the first half. The Rockets, they lost tonight. They lost a really tight game, a game they should have won. They were playing the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Bucks won the game on a last-second kind of desperation heave by Monte Ellis. Jeremy did okay. He scored, I think, 10 points, had 6 or 7 assists, 3 steals. It's a very typical Jeremy Lin game of late. I was at the Wizards Rockets game, as were the Yin sisters, and he had a pretty terrible game. That was the last game before tonight. So
yeah, but wasn't he sick at the Wizards game?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later. His infamous flu game, not nearly as great as Michael Jordan's. But no, the new additions to the Rockets. It's kind of hard to say. They haven't had a chance to play together. When they made the trade, Sacramento had some issues as far as clearing the players that the Rockets brought over. So the new players got their first taste of playing time tonight, and it was hardly much to say. There's been a lot of rotation changes because of the new players. The Donatas Monte has gotten a lot of playing time, and he looks really good. But yeah, it's kind of the Rockets are kind of reeling a little bit now. They've lost several games in a row. I know the Yins and Greg are watching the Knicks and Warriors, and if the Rockets want to keep pace with those other teams at the bottom of the West, the Lakers have been coming on. That 8th position in the West is a pretty precarious spot right now, and they need to win these winnable games against teams like the Bucks and the Wizards if they want to compete in the West.
Yeah, I think Kobe guaranteed that the Lakers would make the playoffs, so that means one of those bottom 2, bottom 3 teams are going to fall out. I think some writers said the Jazz are the most vulnerable at this point, which hurts my heart a little bit, but I got to admit that, they're missing Mo Williams, so I see them slipping. But speaking of the Yin sisters, so you were all at the Wizards game. Was that planned that we would have 2 Joy-Dunk Club panelists at the Wizards game at the same time, or was that just luck?
Well, I need to clarify that I am a Wizards season ticket holder, so I was going to be at the game regardless of whether or not the Joy-Dunk Club folks were going to.
It's like the question of oh, is this your first time at a Wizards game tonight? No, excuse you.
Did someone ask you that?
Just saying. Anyway, continue.
And I just wanted to get your impression of Jeremy's play. He had the flu, but Keith implied that maybe it wasn't as bad as some people said. Or, what did you see?
Oh no, I wasn't implying that. I was implying that. He was sick and he played terribly. That's all true.
Okay.
He didn't play a lot. He only played, I think, 26 minutes. He was 2 for 9 for 5 points, maybe. And it's just overall, Keith and I were talking, his body language on the court was not good. He was just, snapping at his teammates. And he was yanked really quickly by Mikhail.
Yeah. I was live tweeting the game, and I had never sat that close to an NBA basketball game before. Shout out to my cousin Will, who's also a Wizard season ticket holder. There are some of them out there, Wizard season ticket holders. But no, and so that proximity to the court, it was interesting because this is my first time seeing Jeremy play, and I don't know if this is typical. I don't think it is.
No.
But he was, definitely very testy out there, barking at, Chandler, his bro, He was barking at him all night. He was barking at the Smarthy guy. What's his name? Delfino.
Carlos Delfino. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. So are you saying that the love between Chandler Parsons and Jeremy is no more?
Yeah. Well, there was definitely a lot of frustration on Jeremy's part. Missed blown assignments, missed picks, and it was very. I don't know what you guys saw, but I definitely saw that and was kind of taken aback by it.
Well, the other thing you have to realize is the last time he played the Wizards, it was as a Knick, right? And the Wizards couldn't play a lick of defense last year. And the Wizards, people get down on them, but this year they've actually, in recent games, picked up their defense. So they were actually making it a little harder for him. Last year, I remember there was one shot where the Red Seas just parted and he dunked the ball, and the place just went crazy. Yeah, there was none of that tonight.
Yeah, Jeremy didn't even score, I think, until the 3rd quarter, maybe.
Oh, wow.
And it was totally awkward, too, because basically every time he touched the ball, the crowd, you could hear the murmurs, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? And then he would miss a shot. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And
for those of you who aren't in D.C. like us, or are from the Baltimore, D.C. area, Chinatown doesn't have Asian people in it.
It's not Chinatown. It's not real.
And Verizon Center is located in DC's Chinatown. But what is it? Saturday night. It was. I turned to my cousin several times, saying, "Why are there so many Asians in Chinatown tonight? It doesn't make any sense." And then I remembered Jeremy was in town.
Plus, they played. Greg was very sad. They played Girls' Generation and Gangnam Style during the game, and they had a lion dance.
Hold on, Gangnam Style part of the rough part, though.
I guess.
So that show, the game was made for Greg. Greg, are you disappointed that you didn't get to see or hear Girls' Generation being played?
At a Wizards game, no less.
I know they've done it before. This wasn't the first time they've done it, so it's just like whatever.
You were still jealous. You were all like, they played Girls' Generation. I'm so jealous.
If you want to dig up those tweets, you are welcome to.
Who do you like better, Greg, the Knicks or Girls' Generation?
No, that's not even a contest.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, what they said. That's not even a contest.
Exactly.
If you had to pick one girl from Girls' Generation to go one-on-one against Carmelo Anthony, who would you pick?
I don't even know how to respond to that. That makes zero sense.
Whoever it would be, she'd have to change her name to Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay.
I like how you made that connection. I think we talked about that, or we were going to talk about that in the second episode, but I think some people are still confused about Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay. You don't need to know about it.
We're way past that. But speaking of the Knicks, so there were two articles that came out this week that I thought were pretty interesting. The first one that I wanted to talk about quickly is actually it came out today. I don't know if you guys read it. It was an ESPN Insider article that looked again at the comparison between Raymond Felton and Jeremy Lin, which we've talked about a little bit before. And I know a lot of people are sick of that comparison, but maybe now is a better time to make a comparison between the 2 point guards rather than way back in November when they had just started playing and Jeremy was still getting used to his new teammates. So
Certainly a more favorable time.
And say what, Greg?
It's certainly a more favorable time for that argument, for us at least.
So, yeah, well, what do you think, Greg, being a Knicks fan? You watched them closely.
I mean, I said on episode 1 how one of my friends had told me, and I agree, that Raymond Felton was probably the better choice for the Knicks at this time. But I mean, that was in the midst of like the Knicks' very hot start in November. I mean, they were just playing ridiculous ball in that month, and it was like sort of inevitable that they regressed to the mean. And I think the other thing that you sort of need to take into account here is that Raymond Felton, he doesn't tend to come into the season. He's not a guy who's very fit, so you kind of expect him, like the same way that he played in his first Knicks stint. Like you've sort of seen how he started the season hot, but he's kind of like regressed back to his sort of old play, and he suffered an injury and he sort of regressed. So I mean that overall has hurt him. Whereas Jeremy is just, I mean he was coming off of knee surgery at the end of last spring, so he's gotten his legs back and he's gotten used to playing in Houston. So now I think we can look at a larger body of work of both of them, and while Raymond was clearly superior to start the season, Jeremy's crept back up on him, and he's sort of better than Ray in all stat categories, let alone like the intangibles of what you're seeing on the screen if you're watching the two play.
Yeah, let's turn the question to Keith. I don't know if you read the article, but it basically concluded saying that given that Jeremy is 4 years younger, if you were to start, or if you were to pick a player, Jeremy Lin might be the better choice, even though Raymond Felton has slightly better stats. What do you think, Keith? Do you think would you pick Jeremy over Raymond Felton as your starting point guard?
Yeah, and kind of like to kind of leap off of what Greg was saying, the stat-wise, I mean, it's a draw. And if that's the case, if stat-wise it's a draw, you have to go with younger. You have to go with who the more transcendent star is. I mean, for all of the intangibles that Raymond Felton brings to the basketball court, people aren't buying tickets to Knicks games to see Raymond Felton, and that's part of the consideration when you're talking about an NBA team. Jeremy Lin may not be an all-star, he may not be a superstar, but he is definitely a transcendent player in the league. He generates buzz, he generates press, and if just weighing those two against each other, Jeremy comes on top over Raymond Felton.
Well, it's interesting that you brought up the word superstar, because that gets me to the second article that I wanted to discuss that came out this week. It was a Grantland piece by Zach Lowe, and in it, Daryl Morey, the owner or the GM of the Rockets, GM of the Rockets, basically implied that as of now, and maybe later on, Jeremy Lin is not a superstar, that they want to find a second superstar to pair up with James Harden. And even though Jeremy Lin has talked about wanting to be an all-star, I don't know. What do you? Let's turn it to the Yin sisters. What do you think about Morey's statement that in effect placed a ceiling on Jeremy's talent, a ceiling that is below the level of superstar.
I think that's fair. I mean, he's getting paid a reasonable contract to be a solid starter, and if that's what it ends up being, where he only, where tonight is a typical night of what he's going to do, I think that's okay. I mean, when you have a James Harden who can easily turn on and just score 45 points without basically taking a breath, I don't think you need to have a superstar at that point guard position. You just need to have someone who can keep the offense steady and be able to help close out games, and that's good enough.
I agree. I feel like Jeremy, I don't know if there's one thing that Jeremy is really amazing at, right? Where, Rajon Rondo is great at finding people, getting assists, right? Or Derrick Rose drives to the basket, like that's his thing. I think Jeremy, he's already 24, right? Like he's kind of, it's like pretty decent at multiple things, but he's not like a superstar at a particular thing. And so with the fact that he is his age and things like that, I just think that, he'll be a solid starter for probably most of his career, but not a superstar.
And we've talked about this a lot in the past. I mean, if you had to say there's one thing that Jeremy Lin is good at, I would say it's the pick and roll. The problem is that's something that James Harden is excellent at, right? So, that's always been the thing about how are these two going to coexist. And they've, I mean, if the Oklahoma City game from last week is any indication, they can coexist. And Jeremy has potential to be star-like, right? And I don't, honestly, to give credit to Daryl Morey, I don't know that he necessarily said, I don't think Jeremy Lin will be a star in this league. What he said is that they positioned themselves to go out and get a second superstar. And if you look at their moves, that's exactly what they did. By trading all of their power forwards and dumping a bunch of contracts and clearing all this cap space, they are in pretty position to get someone like Josh Smith or God forbid Dwight Howard, but they're in prime position next year to land a second solid all-star, and that I think that would actually improve Jeremy's game, and because their core is still going to be James Harden, Jeremy Lin, the Kung Fu handshake I like to call them, and honestly in person that was actually kind of cool to see. James Harden, Chandler Parsons, and Jeremy Lin, Ashik on the 5 position, and if Thomas Robinson can he's got a lot of upside because he's a rookie. But if you put in a Josh Smith in that starting 5, I mean that's a title contender, I think.
Right.
And that's that's not saying Jeremy Lin's not a superstar or a star, but it's saying that Jeremy Lin, as of now, he's not the second all-star on the team, and the NBA is set up that you need at least 2 all-stars on your team.
Right. I mean, I guess I agree. Obviously, right now, Jeremy Lin isn't a superstar, but to me, it was a little bit, I don't know, troubling to see an owner or a GM not give Jeremy the possibility or chance.
But that's not Daryl Morey. That's not Daryl Morey. I mean, Daryl Morey wouldn't have signed him. I mean, if there's anything Daryl Morey is he is able to look. I mean, I think the other component of that article you were talking about that was on Grantland is that, in the beginning of the season, people looked at Daryl Morey like, what is he doing? He signed Jeremy Lin and Omer Eshik to $25 million contracts. Like, what is that? And what's playing out so far this season is that everything he's done. I mean, I think Daryl Morey's executive of the year. I mean, he's done everything to set up Houston to be a title contender, if not, not this year, of course, and probably not next year, but definitely 2 or 3 years down the line. And again, for Jeremy Lin's career, if he's a starting point guard on a title contender, that's a long way from the couch,
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, the last thing I'll say before we move to the second part of the show is, like you said, and we talked about the documentary last week, is, I mean, he was so close to being cut. So just the fact that he's the starting point guard for a team that has a bright future and right now will probably most likely make the playoffs in itself is an achievement. I don't know, like Steve Nash, when he was 23, 24, I remember a lot of people thinking that, he's a solid point guard for the Suns. And then when he got traded to the Mavericks, people thought, he's not a superstar, but he's solid. And then look what happened, right? He grew into a Hall of Fame point guard. So I just feel like it's hard to predict the trajectory of Jeremy Lin's career right now. it's great that he's doing well for the Rockets. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Well, but I'm not to belabor the point, but I think ultimately this is better for Jeremy too, because if you look at how he came to the spotlight last year, and that those 2 weeks of Linsanity, where people were, I think a lot of the Jeremy Lin backlash now is because of Linsanity and the fact that he was compared to like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird in that 2 week span where no one has ever scored this many points in 17 games in a row. It's like
Right.
kind of arbitrary numbers, which I think are valid, but still I can see why there's a lot of like, well, string 17 games together and of course he's going to be Mike. You know what I'm saying? So I think managing those expectations and not saying this guy is going to be a Hall of Fame point guard helps him in the long run.
Yeah, for sure.
During a career like a Derek Fisher, even I think he's the starting point guard, wins 5 titles on a team. I think that's awesome.
And he's been brought back from the dead this week, joining the Thunder. But I think one thing that we can all agree on is that we love Jeremy Lin. That's why we're doing the show. That's why I started this show. But there's one person in particular that has a strong, almost obsessive love for Jeremy Lin. And I would like to bring Kristina Wong right now onto the Joy Dun Club to talk. Oh my God, it has started already. I don't know if are you finished or are you about to start, Kristina? Whatever. You're.
Am I mic'd? Hi guys.
Yeah. Hi. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome. Just do a quick intro for those who don't know Kristina. She is a solo performance artist, comedian, writer, cultural commentator, and we're lucky to have Kristina on the show. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring Kristina is some of the signs that you brought to the Clippers game. So, go ahead.
Well, I just, I wanted to, say I don't just live here. I live in my house, but it's not my bedroom. This is my throne right here. I come here every day, in that kind of very Buddhist sense. I eliminate, I refresh, I recharge. It is my throne, you know what I'm saying? So, inappropriately so, every throne has a king, right? And
Oh my God!
Look at that glorious king. Why is it above your throne? Shouldn't it be across from you so you could gaze at it lovingly as you do your business?
So I have a mirror on the other side of the door, so I can look at it.
Oh, that's perfect.
But I'll come in a little and just.
Yeah, let's get a closer look at.
I've never sat on my toilet with pants on, but anyway, you guys. So, hey Terry, you look great. You don't look a day over 14.
Thank you. I'm actually 15. Yeah.
Don't you have children or no?
What?
I thought you had no.
Children? What children? Oh no!
And she's gone.
We lost Kristina. I think she got flushed down the toilet, but I hopefully she'll come back on. She's been experiencing some technical difficulties. So while we wait, she's
sorry,
back.
I didn't do anything.
Nothing. Did you flush the toilet? Is that?
And I think she's gone again.
She's gone again. This might be a constant occurrence. Yeah. Well.
This is our first pop-up guest. I like this.
It's like whack-a-mole. Where? Oh, there's Kristina. She's back. Don't touch anything, Kristina. Just put your hands up here. Yeah,
okay,
unmute.
She's gone again.
And bye-bye. This is actually pretty entertaining.
Says no one in the interwebs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as we wait for Kristina to stabilize her internet connection, let's talk about the hypersexuality of Jeremy, which we've broached a little bit before, a few episodes ago. Obviously Kristina, who is hopefully going to stay, but I think you're still muted. So don't X out. Okay, now don't move.
I'm not touching anything. I swear I'm not touching anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the post video go away though, because that's screwing things up.
And she's gone.
And she's.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, this is like a running gag. So let's talk about Jeremy's hypersexual masculinity, which Kristina is fun. Okay, you just got to keep your hands up the entire time, Kristina. Just so we know.
Might be muted.
We're doing jazz hands. Do jazz hands. But yeah, you do got to unmute yourself.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not touching anything. I
Okay.
Swear.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Thing, I swear in the corner. I want to close it, but I can't close it.
No. Yeah. Don't close it. It's fine.
All right. So I went.
And
Oh
that's it
God.
for me.
Okay. So
Best episode ever.
Best episode ever. So Nelson, who is directing our show right now, Nelson, maybe you should well, okay, she is back. Okay, yes, that's all we wanted to see anyway. Where you're saying we didn't want to hear you talk, Kristina. We just wanted to. Yeah. So that's a great. Do you have any other signs that you want to show? Let's do show and tell. Awesome. Explode inside. I think it says explode inside me. All right. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, let it rest on top of the toilet. That is appropriate. Well, I wish we could ask Kristina to talk about those signs or what. Yeah. Can you unmute yourself?
This is really awesome performance art segment.
You're still muted, Kristina. Oh boy. Now, twirling around won't help. Well, maybe it will.
Okay. Wait. Oh.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Stay.
Yes.
Stay.
Speak
All right,
quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. Just get everything out.
All right. Lingasm.
This is very appropriate for the bathroom.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Lingasm.
Yeah, like that.
Nice. I don't think I heard anyone else use that term before.
This one is more. This is very literary. This is me.
And there we go.
This is me leaving the hangout.
This is like my NBA League Pass connection. It's like every 30 seconds it freezes up. And Kristina is back. Okay, so Kristina, I think you might have to leave your throne. She's already ready with the second sign. You got to lift it up. The sign, not anything else. Restraining orders will not stop my love for you, Jeremy. That is, Joyce is disgusted, or I don't know what that reaction is. What do you think of those signs, Joyce and Jocelyn? That look says it all. Oh boy. Well, first of all, I should say that if you have any questions or comments for us, the panelists, or for Kristina, if she manages to stay on the show longer than 30 seconds, tweet them with the hashtag JoydonClub or type them onto the ACV YouTube page, and we'll answer it. Yes, Kristina.
Here.
Okay. So what do you find so sexy about Jeremy? Go.
Okay. Well.
So close.
Yeah, I think Jocelyn made the point. This is probably the best performance piece that exists on the internet right now. Performance art piece. That's what this is.
What do you think is the meaning behind the impermanence of identity? I think. Okay. Kristina is calling me.
Just put her phone on speaker. Put her on speakerphone and hold it up to the mic.
Flashing her digits. Maybe Jeremy will watch the show and call her
for a good
up.
time call.
Yeah. So Kristina, what do you find so sexy about Jeremy? Hurry.
It's not so much what I find sexy. It's my kind of political gesture for the world to unemasculate Asian men. I think the more that I sort of throw myself at him in public and sort of offer myself, the more that I can single-handedly empower an entire demographic of men that have otherwise been ignored. So really, I am sort of like the Cornell West of basketball. Welcome. And what else can I say at that?
Wait, are you saying that Cornell West helped make black men sexy? Just like you're helping?
It's not a one-to-one metaphor, so you can't read into it. like that. But, I think, I find it interesting that there was this whole talk that you managed to talk an hour every week about this one player. How amazing would it be to have more Asian American basketball players? And so I am offering myself out there as someone to help proliferate the gene pool of Jeremy Lin and to sort of put myself, to sort of offer up my eggs, my body, my genes, be also sort of trusted in his estate, and I'm out here to try to make a little more Jeremy Lin. Welcome, and and it's sort of just what this is. So, thank you for having me today. This show is really sort of a career changer for me. I'm excited about this. Thank you so much.
No, I seriously think this will boost your career because we have a huge following, and combined with your following, we will conquer the world. But I wanted to ask you, if you actually met Jeremy, what would you say? What would you do? Would you just grab him and just tear off his clothes right away? Would you try to woo him?
Well, I'm a little bit more subtle than that. I would wrap my legs around his neck, and here comes mommy. I would tell him I'm a good Christian girl. Not true, but it can be true. And sort of, just let him know that, because my guess is that he's probably not super experienced. He's very loyal to his faith. He doesn't seem to be like the other basketball players that go around. So I would just let him know it's okay, and I'm going to teach him a lot.
Well, I'm sure you're a very experienced yet gentle lover, and I know Jeremy would be lucky to have his V card taken from the one and only Kristina Wong. Let's talk about kids. So if
wait, why do we assume he's a virgin?
That's true. He's still a baller.
That's a good point. Even though he's Christian, I mean, he is an NBA star.
I mean, like Mark Jackson is a preacher, but he probably got a pharaoh. And still, I'm just saying.
I would love to see Jeremy become sort of the Will Chamberlain of one, whereas he doesn't, Will Chamberlain with all these women. He would just have me, but he would sleep with me as much as Will Chamberlain slept with his women. See? And there was lots of children, and I don't even like children, but I would have his children.
And what kind of children would they be? What would be what would be a combination of Kristina's DNA and Jeremy's DNA? What kind of kid would that produce?
I think super athletic, because he's obviously a basketball player and he's professional at it. And I do Zumba. And I was doing like a boot camp.
Wait, did you say Zumba? Zumba?
Zumba. Like Latin cardio.
Does that count as a sport or as being athletic?
Yes. Have you ever done Zumba before?
I've yet to Zumba.
Yeah, it's just competitive. But I would, I think I got some good legs and stuff. And I think this baby would come out with like good legs, probably black hair, and tall.
Are you tall?
Yeah, I'm 5'7".
Oh.
So I think between 6'3" and that 5'7", we could probably keep giving this kid milk and. Geez, I got lost, but I'll keep talking. And I can make it happen. So that's really what this is about. It's about me furthering the race through the sexual harassment of one NBA basketball player. And I think it's going to happen.
So, are you saying you're not actually physically attracted to Jeremy, that this is simply a political project, a very admirable one, but are you saying that there's nothing about Jeremy that you find physically appealing?
No, I find a lot about him appealing. Like when he sticks his tongue out, when he's going down the court, and he's like,
I don't remember him doing this before. Are you talking about the tongue, his purple stained tongue?
had he's running down the court like, you know, and then when he puts glasses on.
Greg is dying. Dying.
Because he's all real baby, like me.
You know, I don't know if that description of Jeremy is helping the cause of Asian American men. I think that might be hurting.
But, I don't know. I mean, he can, really, Jeremy, if you're out there, and you're listening, if you happen to be watching the 7th episode of the Web Hangout talk show about you.
He does watch the show.
You know, Jeremy, that you and me together, this portrait, this throne, this could be ours. And we'll share this. We'll take no for an answer.
I'm sure he would be honored to be with you in the bathroom on your toilet throne, your porcelain throne, looking at a picture of himself in a mirror. That shit's meta already. But so what do you offer? Because I'm sure that many women would love, and maybe some men would love to throw themselves at Jeremy's feet. We saw that white woman last year during Linsanity hold up a sign that was similar to yours. I don't know if you've killed her yet. But, I mean, what do you offer to Jeremy that is better than what any other person could offer?
I own a condo in Koreatown. If I can get my roommate/tenant to move out, he'd have a room.
Wow. A whole room for himself.
I have a juicer. I've been juicing. So I get to spend a lot of time here now that I juice here in the bathroom. But
What do you juice exactly?
every morning, carrots. A pound of 5 pounds of carrots for $2. You get so much juice out of that. My cat.
Oh, yeah. Show us your cats.
You remember the stupid mix? The curtain matches the drapes. Remember that?
Yeah.
I got a few of these.
Wait, can you show it to the camera? We can't really see it. Can you show it to the camera? We can't really see it.
What is it?
The curtain matches the drapes.
Really? That's what it looks like down there.
Oh.
And,
So you keep it like 1970s style then.
I used to have a live cat here. He's here now. He passed away last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's his small print, is Oliver. And so I'm willing to share this with Jeremy. The ashes. Ready?
Yeah. What are you showing us?
The ashes of my cat,
Oh.
Oliver. See that? The ashes.
Oh my.
Looks like a little, rolled up sausage, but that's actually what like a 10-pound cat gets cremated into. So this is what I have to share with JL. But also, I'm just I read a lot of self-help books that can be really encouraging. I think he's just been under a lot of pressure, and I mean, I just like to, I just tell people that I'm Mrs. Jeremy Lin. I visualize, I put it in power, and I'd be happy to teach him those techniques and share my whatever to close my ashes wrong. But
yeah, I don't know if Jeremy's a cat lover or not, but I'm sure he would be very moved to see your cat's ashes. So if you could write a poem, I don't know if you're good at making up poems on the spot, but I have a feeling that you do. What or like a haiku? If you could think of a haiku to woo Jeremy's heart.
Yeah, okay, I can do this. Hold on, let me put my ashes away. Cat here we're talking about. Who I love as much as I love Jalen. Oh wait. 575. Jeremy Lin.
Oh.
Hi. Let's make basketball babies. Lin eye.
That's beautiful, Kristina. I mean, and if he's watching, which I'm pretty sure, because we're big. So I'm sure he's calling you right now since we flashed your digits. He knows what number to call. Is there anything else you want to say about your love of Jeremy, or?
I mean,
At this point, it doesn't have to just be. Yeah, I know. This is where I get real, and I get off. I'm just hoping this will work. But Jeremy, if you're out there, if you're watching, you're on a break, you're in the locker room, you're all sweaty, you're beating, all those boys are hitting you on the butt with towels. I just want you to know, Jeremy, that I know that I'm like jokey or whatever, but this is real. Every time I sit down on this toilet, I think of you. I look at you. I look at myself going, I think of you, and I think of our lives together, and I think of what it would be like if you moved to Koreatown with me, and we shared my cats together, and I just.
Oh.
Just can't imagine my life without you.
And scene.
Oh.
Send that to Jeremy.
Enough.
I think this is the first time anyone's cried on the Joy-Don Club. Wow. Oh, no, that's not true. I think Greg started crying.
Greg's about to cry right now.
Right now.
Greg's been crying for the past 15 minutes into his hat. And Keith, I don't know, I think he might have fallen asleep, but Kristina, I can't, are you constipated, or I'm a little confused.
Right now.
Yeah.
Those are real tears.
Yeah.
Those are genuine tears. Wow. I mean, I thought I loved Jeremy Lin.
I'm crying about it too.
But Kristina, you take the cake.
Thank you.
And I feel weird about saying cake and you sitting on your toilet at the same time, but I think that's okay. And scene. So I think that is a good place to end the show. I forgot to ask the trivia questions, but we'll do that next time. And I think there are only 2 tickets left. So thank you to Kristina. Oh, she's back. Oh, you're muted.
And she's gone.
Let's end the show before she comes back. All right. Thanks, everyone. All the panelists. Thank you. See you next week. We're going to have Scott Kurashige, Professor of Asian American Studies, on the show. Thanks to Kristina for her awesome performance art tonight. And, yeah. Thanks. Bye, everyone. What is she doing?
I think she's actually going to take a shit.
These are the outtakes.
I think she might be flushing the cat's ashes.
Wouldn't that be bait and switch? Jeremy will come over and realize they're gone.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's the whole reason for him to come over.
Yes, clearly.
And pick out that... Never mind, I'm not going to say it. All right.